Hello and welcome to Dario Comics or Dario's Comic School. I'll see how we will frame that. And today we look at one of my favorite graphic novels, Black Hole by Charles Byrne. And before I start, this is a recommend for all of you. It's a very important book, not just because it's very beautiful, but because it's also written really well. And I love things that can stand the test of time. And my philosophy is also that comic books shouldn't be only fun, like they can be and they should be. They should look great. And this comic book looks great, as you can see here. But if done right, and that's my personal philosophy, there's something you can get from the graphic novel, from the comic, for your own life, for your own soul, to live a better life and to understand life a little bit better. And there are different comics and stories. We will take a look. I guess the next will be Jeff Smith Bone or Golden Boy. And we have a very bright spectrum, but Black Hole is really amazing. We will take a look in a few seconds. Before we start, yesterday the last 2 days I was sick, and so I had time to think about life and stuff and look at stuff and see where I'm happy in my life and where I'm not happy in my life. And this graphic novel is about, I guess, happiness and unhappiness, and about loneliness and alienation, and about the unfair parts of life. And so if you're struggling with life, if things are unfair, you gotta rise above that. But sometimes we burn ourselves out because we try stuff. And what do I want to say? This book goes into all that dark parts, but it has also some hope. And I guess hope really is seeing an exit or seeing a way how you can do it. And I watched a Shaolin monk, and he said, before you start fighting, before you do anything, you start standing the right way. And that's a fundamental. And I think, like, I have some fundamentals, but they're not all perfect right now. So as you can see, when I started making the channel, I'm not advocating parallel, you know what I mean, doing nothing. You need to do stuff, but you also need to build your fundamentals. So out of that fundamental can come something you love. If you like to support me, check out my Patreon, check out my comics. There will always be all for free on the web, but I think real comics are best in your hand and at your home. So another stuff before we start, it's a long introduction, but this is what I've written down, and this is from the book I've got myself. It's called Deep Work by Carl Newport, and it says, to succeed, you have to produce the absolute best stuff you're capable of producing. That task requires deep work, depth. And it is true. If we look, for example, at my comic, like this cover, it's maybe cool, but it's not the best I could have done. If I've put in here and there a bit of more fundamentals, it would have been better. But this is the best stuff I could produce at a time. And now we're looking at Black Hole and Charles Byrne's, and I guess this is not his first novel. And I think he's drawing, or should I call it painting, digitally, and he's producing really beautiful stuff. Like, it's just look at this. The light hits from above, and here it's in the shadow, but you have the rim light, and just the way he makes his stuff, and everybody looks different. Like everybody looks like a real person, and the ugly people look ugly, and the beautiful people look really beautiful. So he knows how to capture stuff, and that is a really great stuff. And I don't know if this is the original print, if the comics had some comic print, like this is American standard comic print, and this is, I guess, A5 or something in between that. So grab what issue you can grab, because it's just freaking amazing. And this is how it starts, with a black page, with a little, I don't know, how do you call it, just a slight ripple, and then it opens, and then here we start with a frog. And it's about this guy, and it's about a bunch of guys and girls, and it's cool because you get a very broad look on life from different perspectives. And this is how it starts. It's important that I call it. It was so weird. It happened in my third period biology class. We got divided into groups of 2 because we were all going to dissect frogs. And this guy, in the pickup language, we call him a chode or a loser. And this is maybe where I put myself too. And if you're a loser, yeah, don't worry, because like that's just the cards you got dealt by life, and you can do things about it. And some things are just the way you are, and you gotta accept this. But yeah, wait a second, my nose, yeah. And this is really about life, this graphic novel, in a really fun way. I lucked out for her once and got Chris as my lab partner, Chris Rhodes. She was a total fox. And then, yeah, he has a crush on her, and they're dissecting frogs, but he passes out. And look at this drawings. Like, I mean, I guess they have to be digitally. And look at also, it's not, at this point, it's not too wordy. Like, and it's very, very awesome design. If you can see here the spiral, and the next page, again a spiral, and again a spiral. And you can see how it takes a theme and runs with it. And when you're learning, like, you can take stuff like this and just copy or steal it and implement it in your stuff. Like, it helps you learn. It helps you learn your own craft. And maybe what you can take also away from this is like the way he works digitally. It's different from my stuff. I mean, I could work digitally. It was very, very cool, because you can go in, you can change it to the point where it looks really, really good, and it's really the way you want it. But it can also consume very much your time. But I do love and like how my drawings look kind of sometimes rough or very natural, for the good and bad. Like, I don't say that this is all good, but I'm very happy with this panel, and I'm sure my stuff will get better, but it's just different, and I love to draw on paper. And if I can, I will get also to this clean look, but I just love drawing on paper. But drawing and painting digitally is also very cool. And so he passes out, and then we start this. And it's about school, it's about teenage kids, it's about growing up, it's about all the stuff you go through, but mostly like finding yourself in the world. Like sometimes, and this is also why I make this video, because growing up, I guess I was an awkward kid, because I had an awkward background, an awkward backstory, coming from some tough times and low vibrations, and I used to be a dick, and I used to be a cool guy, and I was funny, and I always tried to do my best, but it's sometimes hard to find out who you really are. And this novel is also about this. And it's also about trying to grow up and finding, as you can see here are the horror elements, because some weird disease is turning these teenagers into monsters. But it's also the question, who is the real monster? Because like this is the guy that turned into a monster through a, I guess, sexually transmitting disease, but the real monsters are really these guys, because like they think themselves to be different, and that it's okay to trash the place because this guy was a nerd. And yeah, it's pretty solid stuff. And as you can see here, we have an introductory panel to the new stuff, and it's a tent, and you can see socks and a can and some stuff, and really beautifully drawn blanket, like time and care went into this. And as you can see, cigarettes, a gun, a flashlight, like this is just amazing. And it takes time to put this work together. So sometimes we try to rush the work. Number one, we don't have the right fundamentals, and then we think we suck and we can get nowhere. And this is mostly when we hit the desperation peak and the okay, I give up and I just let it go. Sometimes it's good to cut your losses, but sometimes if it's from not knowing your fundamentals and doing things the wrong way, there should be hope, because there is a way. And this guy is totally into this chick, and they have sometimes really strange trips, and I don't know, they transform themselves and they don't know how to do stuff. Wait a second, we will come to it. And it's cool because like we get an overview of the guy that has a crush on her, and he's a total nice guy, but he's not a dick. He wants to do good stuff, but he also wants to get his needs met. Like, he has a crush on her, he wants her, and that's like the easy part. And she is a total fox, and she's cool because like she's not a bitch, she's a nice girl, but she's also just trying to get her needs met. And she meets this guy, and he's the cool guy. I don't know what his name is, and they start spending time together. And she's first time she's hanging out with the cool kids, and he digs her too. And yeah, things they get together and they have fun. And the cool part about this comic is it shows real life, it shows real stuff, it shows that sometimes things are messy, things are beautiful, that things do not work out the way we want them to work out, that things can go the wrong way, but that all has its reasons, like and so they make love or have sex, but then later she finds out, or while they do it, she finds out that he has that sexually transmitting disease, and it's displayed by the mouth on his throat, and she freaks out, and he freaks out, and he thought she knew, and she thought that he meant something different. And after that, they just play it cool, but it feels shitty. And this panel right here, and the captions here, and after that, it doesn't matter. It was so shitty, so cold and shitty. And this graphic novel talks real. Like, it talks like in life we always we want things to work out, but sometimes they don't work out. And then we don't talk, we just play it cool, just take it as it is, but it's not a good state. And it's a state of fragmentation, isolation, alienation. And yeah, we just then cope with different things, like we just play it cool, we overplay it, we buy shit, we get ourselves some watches and watch some Netflix, go out, see other people's, but we're missing the deep roots, the deep connection. and that's what she's missing too. And slowly, then she's also like, they just are normal teenagers, but slowly she's transforming into something she didn't know she would become. And yeah, then Chris is with another girl. No, this guy's not Chris, like hers Chris, and everybody is turning to something different, and this guy says, no, I totally love, I don't know, what does he say? No, he doesn't love her, he loves the girl, Chris, and so they want to get together, and I don't want to talk too much, let's come to an end. But as you can see, a total recommend. We see a lot of places we go down where people get stoned. Our nice guy, this guy here with his asshole friends, goes to a place where he meets a girl. That girl, I gotta show you this girl, and she's totally hot, and she's an artist, and she lives down the basement, but she's also a freak. And he's like, but she's totally awesome. Let's show you how beautifully she's drawn, and this is what comic is about. It's about mastering fundamentals and creating artwork that is really exceptional and putting that on a page. But don't be discouraged if you're not on this level. Still, you gotta start somewhere. You gotta do, how do you say, your first dances, your first rounds, and well, this guy learns now this girl, and she's an artist, and she shows him stuff, and so he knows that Chris is not the only girl around, and yeah, that's cool. And then it's the story about freaks, and it goes into really everybody. It shows us, it's also very, very Tarantino-esque, because sometimes things that happened earlier will be clarified at the end, and it really makes sense, and it really gives us also a deep sense of how the world works and how everybody's trying to get whatever they want, their needs met, and sometimes it's really shitty. And also these nights I had in my youth, and maybe sometimes I'm still having them, where you go to a place and you think something cool is going to go down, and then nothing happens, and he says, no, I don't want to just hang out with you, and then that guy shames him and says, oh, you always want to go somewhere special, can't we just hang out and drink beer? And I know how this feels not like living, this feels like you're just suffering in a prison, and that freaking sucks. And he wants this girl, and it's his drive, and you should follow your drives, because like don't get told otherwise. Sometimes, yes, you can get burned, sometimes you go the wrong way. It's okay to make mistakes, sometimes you make a lot of mistakes, but well, it's life. Yeah. And then it's about parents, it's about how they don't get you, how they don't really care, they just want to protect you, which is the right way. But sometimes you feel alienated from your parents because you can talk to them, they don't understand you, and they just keep you like pets. And she gets grounded, and then she tries to get away and to move to another place. And it's a really great book. I mean, I'm talking 18 minutes. If you're watching up to this point, yeah, you're a hero. Let's stop with this. And wait a second. Here, he thinks back to a time where he was thinking about class, and how they show always in biology how everything is neat, and sex, and how life is really messy, and it's really how it really is. Here, this is the place where he's thinking about how things have changed, and how they used to be, and how everything was innocent and very beautiful and clean and just explained. And then he thinks life's very, very freaking different. Like, it's not the way you teach us. Yeah, I'll leave you with that. and with this panel, and thank you for watching.